Hello, everybody. Today we are going on a road trip. I don't really know where we're going. I kind of have this general sense we're going southeast. I know the western part of the United States really well. I don't know if there's many roads that I haven't traveled on the western half of the United States, so I thought it'd be fun to go east this time. In the last 5 months, I've done so much traveling. I went to Europe, I went to Mexico City, I went to Cancun. I took a huge road trip across down the western coast of America. And the reason I was able to do any of that is because of this channel, because of those of you who book sessions with me, those of you who provide me with very generous donations. And so I thought it'd be fun to take you guys along this time to just kind of live this story with you guys and go on this adventure with you all. So yeah, I'm headed out for a road trip. We'll find out together where I end up, what kind of adventure comes my way, and I'll just kind of share things that happen on the way that maybe I think are of value to you, or just maybe random stuff too. I've never really vlogged like this before, so yeah, I've done so much traveling recently and I haven't really shared that with you guys. I haven't really taken you guys along, and I just thought this would be kind of a new and fun thing to do with you all. So yeah, heading out. I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, but it's like maybe it's the full moon energies are playing a part in this too. But sometimes does this happen where all of a sudden the reality you're in, it just shifts? There's like this, it's like suddenly there's just this major shift where everything kind of feels a little bit eerie. Everything just kind of feels a bit like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. It's like, it can almost feel a little bit like derealization, where everything kind of feels unreal and you're like, oh wow, it's almost like your soul's already kind of left, and you're just like, it just feels so strange, right? It's almost surreal. And then when you finally take that action, when you follow the calling to leave, when you have this sense of, oh yeah, there's this new reality being birthed for me right now, and my part in this is of allowing this new reality to birth is following this calling into adventure, into the unknown. You could say following your heart. And then once you start following that calling, it's like you sync back up with your soul, and then everything starts to flow again, and reality starts to come back into like focus, you could say. I don't know if you guys ever have that. I've had it so many times on this kundalini journey. And I think even before I even knew I was an eternal soul, these type of shifts would occur. They would occur in relationships, jobs, where I'd just be at a job one day and be like, oh wow, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. It's like, I've outgrown this job, I've outgrown this paradigm, whatever it is. And same with relationships, where I felt, oh wow, I would just start to feel all this intense friction. And I'd be like, yeah, this relationship has run its course. It's time for me to let go into something different, and to step into the unknown. So yeah, I just really had that shift yesterday. And like I said, it could be because of the full moon. It could just be because of all the inner growth I've been experiencing recently. And I just wanted to share that. So if you experience that too, listen to that calling. Follow your heart. Even if, like I can feel right now, there are a lot of fear programs coming up in me, but there's also this deep, deep peace holding me right now, and just kind of allowing the fear programs to come up and you could say transmute, or to alchemize, and just really feeling into the peace that's here, just like this sense of steadiness, this sense of assurance, that through everything I've been through these last 3.5 years, there's just this real deep faith within me, that it just keeps growing. I feel like that faith just keeps growing. And this road trip will be another, opportunity to deepen in trust, to deepen in the intelligence of life. Another opportunity to allow the intelligence of life to work through me, to really invite the intelligence of life to use me as an instrument. And this just feels like me getting out of the way of my life stream, of my own evolution, and just allowing myself to flow with that. And I think that's part of what happens when our reality gets a little distorted and things start to feel just kind of off. I believe that's a sign that our egoic resistance is stepping in the way of our natural life stream, our natural desire for growth and expansion. And so when we finally let go of the fear that's there, or the resistance that's there to our natural growth and expansion, that's when we start to feel back in that harmony, back in that flow again. And a lot of times I can feel, I know for some of you, and this has been the case for me in the past, not so much this time right now, this might change though, but this can feel like you're walking into a fire, like there's a lot of flames there. But those flames, they're flames of purification. It's the fire of transformation. And those that are willing to walk into the fire, and you could even say it's like the fire of fear. Those of us that are willing to walk into that fire experience transformation, betterment, growth, a sense of inner satisfaction and fulfillment. And I feel like this is happening in my own being, where I'm actually falling in love with the flames. I'm falling in love with being on fire, because there's such an aliveness there. There's such an intensity of life in the flames. And your soul, when you really start falling in love with the flames, your soul's like, ooh, where's the next fire? Where are the next flames I can walk into? Because you really start desiring this growth, desiring the purification process. You start feeling the liberation on the other side, the freedom on the other side of these flames. And so you let go of, if you don't walk towards the flames, maybe you can find a sense of peace in a sense, but it's like this numbness. It's like there's this deadness associated with it. You're not really alive. And that becomes its own hell realm. It becomes its own place of real suffering and pain. And eventually you get so tired of that hell realm, there becomes so much suffering in that deadness of stagnation, of resisting your life stream, of being servile to your fears, of not listening to your heart. Eventually that becomes such a hell realm on its own that you'd rather just walk into the flames. Like the flames sound so much more appealing than the numbness, the deadness. And that happens to me all the time. I will walk into the flames, and I'll walk into this new reality and I'll start to get really comfortable there. And then life will call me forward into more flames, into more growth, into facing more of my fears and resistances, into more expansion. And sometimes I resist that. And then I start to go into that hell realm of deadness, of kind of like this confusion, of stuckness, you could say. And sometimes it has to get so intense for it to be, it becomes its own like wake-up call, like, oh, okay, yeah, it's time to start walking in the direction of fire again, in the direction of alchemy, in the direction of my evolutionary edge. How much in sync and in a state of oneness can we be with our evolutionary edge? I believe that's an indication of how happy we're going to be, how fulfilled we're going to be, how much in the flow we're going to stay, how creative we're going to remain. Hey guys, I wanted to hop back on and finish this video up for you. It's like I feel like my soul is just pulling me, like is just telling me keep driving. So I've literally just been driving all day. I think I've driven 9 hours now. I think somewhere halfway in the middle of South Dakota. And I've just been driving through all of these barren, like Great Plain type areas where they're just like really flat. And, the mind says, this is boring, this is uninteresting, let's listen to a podcast, let's play the music, let's, listen to a YouTube video, let's call someone. The mind's like, give me something to do, this is just too boring, this nothingness, this emptiness. The mind's like, there's nothing, there's no pretty, like, scenic views, And it was interesting to listen to the mind asking for that. And I kind of gave into that for just a minute. And then I realized, wait, no, I had this deeper calling of, I actually want to be one with this emptiness, one with this nothingness, one with like the barren, vast terrain that I've been driving all day. And I just had like this intuitive little nudge that was kind of telling me, if you sink into this, if you merge with this, it was like telling me, just wait till this transforms, wait till this starts to shift. And just how much deep appreciation you'll have for that. Whereas if I just distract myself and numb out and just kind of get in my head the whole time, and I'm not really present with the emptiness and the barrenness of the landscape that I'm driving in. First, it's like, kind of, what's the point of the road trip? The point of the road trip, it's not to get somewhere, it's to be present this whole way through. It's like, for me, it's just this one long meditation. And eventually, really, that's what life becomes. And so I just really started sinking in to the vastness of this terrain, of this area, of this geographical location in America. And the mind had a fight at first, but then the mind even started to recognize, there's something really beautiful about this. There's beauty even in this. And it just had me thinking about all of our awakenings, like when we go into the void, when we go into the nothingness, the emptiness, which God will pull us in time after time to help us dissolve more ego. It's like, can we merge with that? Can we not, if we're in the void and we don't have any motivation and all our old hobbies are falling away and we don't really know who we are anymore, can we not get pulled by like distractions? By like little entertainments that don't have any real value or meaning to us? Can we just simply be with the void? And it's amazing when you truly start to accept something. That's when it seems on this path that things begin to shift and begin to move. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, like the void, the emptiness, the nothingness. This is not something to run from, to try to avoid or escape. It's a beautiful gift, actually, and there's beauty in it too. There's richness and depth in it. And if we can just be present, if we're in any state of the void or the emptiness, what a beautiful time to relax and allow God to take more of our egoic desires, more of our old patterns, old stories, old beliefs about who we are, old identities. This is what the void is for, the nothingness is for. This is what this drive was for me today. It was for me to connect with me. There was literally nothing external today for me to like lose myself in. I had this phone here that I could have lost myself in, but I chose not to. There was a greater presence that decided not to, even when the mind was telling me to do so. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that insight with you guys, and I hope that resonates and helps you. Also, before I forget, I want to say thank you so much, Lisa, for your recent donation. You have just bought me some delicious food on my road trip, so thank you so much for the support. And if anyone else would like to support this road trip that I'm on, I will put a donation link in the description box. So if you feel compelled to do that, go for it. If not, no worries. Just thank you so much for watching. I just appreciate you being here. I appreciate you liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. That all really, it all means a lot to me. And I feel like this is a good place to wrap up day one. I'm still on the road. I think it's like 5:30 here. I don't know when I'm going to quit driving. I guess whenever Spirit tells me to stop driving. It's like Spirit has the wheel today. She's just carrying me. But I love you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow on day 2 of my road trip. Namaste.